Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to today's Bhakti Shastri Unit 1 session. So we're going to previous class we stopped at sloka number 2.27. Sorry, 26. So we're going to start with 2.27. Before we start with 2.27, I wanted to take your opinion. Please share your opinion before coming into Krishna consciousness. Before coming into Krishna consciousness, who you all considered God and why? I repeat my question. Before coming into Krishna consciousness, before coming into ISKCON, I wanted to know who you considered God and why. Why? I'll give you some examples so that you get my questions clear. Like maybe because it was family tradition to worship a particular demigod. So as a child, you have been worshipping that particular demigod or goddess. Or maybe it was what we learned in school. Few of us have studied in missionary school, etc. Maybe what you read in your books as a child, so on and so forth. I repeat my question: who you considered to be God and why? Before coming into ISKCON. Okay. Yes, Abhishek Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. All gods are God. This is what we consider because of the family tradition. मतलब बचपन
Okay.
से हम लोगों ने देखा है गणेश भी भगवान है, लक्ष्मी नारायण तो है ही. All the avatars are coming from Lakshmi Narayan.
Was that your
So
personal opinion?
yes, personal
You
opinion.
considered all God to be God. All
Yes,
demigods
because
by
this
one
is how
God.
we have been.
Any
I
one
mean, what?
particular you worshipped personally? Any one particular you worshipped?
Ganesha.
Why?
Uh, I don't know, all-time favorite. I used to do, I mean, 10 days. I have been to Mumbai. I have lived in Mumbai also. So 10 days I used to worship Ganesha on the Ganesh Chaturthi. So
Okay.
thoda attachment
It
tha.
was more because of geographical reason. Okay. Yes, Pratima Mataji.
হরে কৃষ্ণ সাদর প্রণাম প্রভু। আমি তো প্রথমে শিবজিকেই জানতাম, দেবাদিদেব মহাদেব, উনি সর্বশ্রেষ্ঠ, মানে সবার ওপরে আর কি, সমস্ত ভগবানের ওপরে উনি
Okay.
প্রধান, এবং ওনার থেকেই সমস্ত আরো অবতার গুলো। গণেশজি ওনার ছেলে, যেহেতু মা দুর্গা ওনার অর্ধাঙ্গিনী, তো এইভাবে মানে শিবজির
So your
পরিবারটাই
reason
মেন।
was because of the family tree of Lord Shiva. So it makes a complete family scene, and he is the head of the family, so he is God.
হ্যাঁ, এবং দেবাদিদেব মহাদেব সবাই বলতেন, যেহেতু দেবেরও উনি দেব, সেই জন্য তাহলে সব গণের মানে সমস্ত আরো দেবদের
Okay.
ওপরেই উনি, সেই জন্য
More reasons to
কনসেপ্ট ছিল।
be having a convincing thought that he is God because Devadidev Mahadev. So that's why. Very nice. Yes, Shalini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, my grandmother used to worship Giridhari Shilagram, and we thought like that he is the only God, and there was also a Gopal Vigraha.
So you mean
So
to say you worshipped Shaligram, Giridhari Shaligram, and Gopal Bigro from childhood,
from childhood, yes,
and like you used to consider them to be God from childhood,
yes, yes,
and you worship nobody else other than them?
no.
Oh my goodness, that's big news. That
But we didn't know, like I didn't know that at that time, like Jugal Roop, like we need to worship in the two hands Basuri Wala Krishna with Radha, and Madhurya Rosh is the highest form. That I didn't knew. That like we had only Giridhari. So
okay. I mean, still the realization of that Supreme Lord is Giridhari and Saligram is to worship Saligram. That's very big news. Very nice. And since childhood. And nobody else. That is even bigger. Very nice. Kudos. Raji Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, I joined a little late. Like, is it like before coming to Krishna consciousness, whom would we consider supreme?
Whom you consider supreme and why?
Okay. Like before coming to Krishna consciousness,
Whom you used to worship, thinking to be God.
like I never worshipped anyone. Like I used to make fun of all demigods, everybody.
Okay, okay.
So
But
mostly I used to.
still you had faith in some particular person.
Yeah, so like in Kolkata, it is mostly like we have Durga Puja, all these festivals, no? So I used to participate in all that as
No,
a cultural.
I'm not asking about participation. I'm asking about your faith in some particular demigod
No,
or god.
no, no
Nobody.
particular. No,
Who you consider God to be before coming into ISKCON?
no one. Like I never gave thought on this thing.
What was God to you before coming in ISKCON?
In our house, like we had multiple deities. So on Thursdays, I used to offer incense sometimes.
Okay. But you considered somebody to be God?
No, no,
You had faith in
no,
somebody? Some
no, no,
person?
no, not at all.
I mean, are you hinting that you were an Nastic?
Not like I also do. That's what I was saying. Like I used to make fun of this like demigods, everybody. So
Okay, that's different. But you never had faith in anybody particular.
no, no, no,
Okay,
Prabhu.
okay. Prahlad Nisama Prabhu. I mean, Raji Prabhu, don't mind. Everything absolutely fine. We are all different human beings. We have different choices. We have our different permutation combinations. So there's nothing is wrong. Now you're a Vaishnava. Now you have faith, right? That's most important. Yeah, that's what is important. Yes. Prahlad Nisama Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
प्रभु पहले मैं बचपन से बहुत छोटे से ही हम लोग के घर पे in during winter season we had like Ramayana and everything katha going on. So from that time I used to hear that Lord Ram worshipped Devi Durga. So since I was like 6 year old, I started doing Navratri during Vasanta Panchami. Like not here, yeah, Vasanta time. Vasanta Durga Puja, we say na
Yes, yes.
in
So you used to
Bengal.
fast all those days. You used to fast as a child.
From childhood, I used to do puja, but from 11-year-old, I started fasting also. So, and I used to do both the Navratris and I used to worship Devi Durga and I used to think like she's the only one. So, yes.
Okay. Very nice. Take Durga Devi, worshipping Durga. Fine. Thinking her to be the all in all. Jai Madhav Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Actually, it was a family tradition. We had many gods and goddesses. We used to worship Lord Ganesha. During the Palabhishek, we used to worship Lakshmi Ganesh. And then goddess Tara, Ma Tara, we used to worship. And
No, that is fine. Family tradition. Who you used to think God to be?
actually,
Joy Madhav Bonik used to think God who?
multiple gods and goddesses. I did not have any idea that there was some supreme god. That I did not have that idea.
Okay, okay. Take. Very nice. So good, nice. Different answers. We are all different variegatedness as we are. This is one of the attributes of Supreme Lord. He likes varieties. Prabhupada mentions about Boichitrata in Bengali. Boichitrata, that is variegatedness. We all are different, we look different, we behave different, we have our own different personal choices. So wanted to know, just, good. So we are in Bhagavad Gita 2.27, very important chapter where the Supreme Lord gives all the attributes in relation to Supreme Lord. So, ultimately, all these would lead to the Charam Shloka of Bhagavad Gita, that is Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Praja. But a person who would surrender everything and who would give up everything and surrender to Supreme Lord, he at least should know what is Prakriti. He at least should know who he is. He at least should know who God is. He at least should know what soul is. These basic things, if a person doesn't know, and if you tell him Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Praja, it will make no sense to him. That's why that shloka comes to 18.66. towards the end of the end of the book. But before that, all the different paraphernalias of devotional service must be explained. And that is what Supreme Lord is doing, especially in chapter 2. He's explaining the attributes of soul to his beloved friend Arjuna. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. We are in Bhakti Shastri, Unit 1. We're going to start Sloka number 2.27 today. We'll continue from there. Continue from there. Yes, please unmute and repeat after me. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur
जातस्य हि
जातस्य
ध्रुवो
हि ध्रुवो
मृत्युः
मृत्युर्
dhruvam janma mritasya
ध्रुवं
ध्रुवं जन्म
जन्मामृतस्य
ध्रुवं
मृतस्य च
जन्मामृतस्य
tasmadapariharyarthe
तस्मात्
तस्मादपरिहार्यते
अपरिहार्यते
natvam sochitumarhasi.
नात्वं
ज्ञातुं
शोचितुमर्हसि
सोचितुम् अर्हसि.
Yeah. Yes. Who wants to read? Shalini Mataji. Translation.
One who has taken his birth is sure to die, and after death, one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament.
Please repeat.
One who has taken his birth is sure to die, and after death, one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament.
Clear? Purport.
One has to take birth according to one's activities of life, and one after finishing one term of activities, one has to die to take birth for the next. In this way, one is going through one cycle of birth and death after another without liberation. This cycle of birth and death does not, however, support unnecessary murder, slaughter, and war. But at the same time, violence
Understood.
and war.
Understood. It does not support means you cannot say that क्या फर्क पड़ता है? He'll again take birth. It's a recycle. Soul doesn't die. So let me kill him. No, you cannot say that. Continue.
But at the same time, violence and war are inevitable factors in human society for keeping law and order. The battle of Kurukshetra, being the will of the Supreme, was an inevitable event, and to fight for the right cause is the duty of a Kshatriya. Why should he be afraid of or aggressive at the death of his relatives since he was discharging his proper duty? He did not deserve to break the law, therefore becoming subjected to the reactions of sinful acts of which he was so afraid. By avoiding the discharge of his proper duty, he would not be able to stop the death of his relatives, and he would be degraded due to his selection of the wrong path of action.
So so he should continue fight because anyways these fellows are going to die, and secondly he would be penalized for not discharging his duty as a Kshatriya. Clear? Abhishek Prabhu? Clear? Yeah.
जी पूज
Shloka number 28. Avyaktadini bhutani
भूतानि
madhyani bharata
वर्तमानानि भारत
ज्ञानि भारत
अव्यक्तानि धान्यानि एव
अव्यक्तानि तानि एव
तत्र का परिदेवना.
तत्र का
तत्र का परिवेदना.
Yes. So when we recite the shlokas, all are requested to unmute and repeat the shlokas. This should ensure that you all be awake. So that's the logic behind. Yes. Okay. We'll be 20 minutes late. No issues. But by 8 o'clock, I hope all videos should be on by 8 o'clock. Okay. Please try so that all videos should be on by 8 o'clock. All should be in their places. Hopefully. Translation, please continue.
All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So, what need is there for lamentation?
Please repeat.
Purport. Oh. All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So, what need is there for lamentation?
Okay. Now, manifest, unmanifest would be 100% clear in the purport. So don't worry. Continue.
Accepting that there are two classes of philosophers, one believing in the existence of the soul and the other not believing in the existence of soul, there is no cause for lamentation in either case. Non-believers in the existence of the soul are called atheists by followers of Vedic wisdom. Yet, even if, for argument's sake, we accept this atheist theory, there is still no cause for lamentation. Apart from the separate existence of the
Okay.
soul,
So the atheists that don't believe in existence of soul, so there is no cause for lamentation. Because the body dies, fine. So anyways, death is there. Death is unavoidable, imminent. Okay, that's what Prabhupada is hinting at. Continue.
apart from the separate existence of the soul, the material elements remained unmanifested before creation. From this subtle state of non-manifestation comes manifestation, just as from ether air is generated, from air fire is generated, from fire water is generated, and from water earth becomes manifested. From the earth,
Just
many
just read the entire thing. I will explain everything. Just quietly hear the entire thing. At least hear out. Please continue.
From the earth, many varieties of manifestations take place. Take, for example, a big skyscraper manifested from the earth. When it is dismantled, the manifestation becomes again unmanifested and remains as atoms in the ultimate stage. The law of conservation of energy remains, but in course of time, things are manifested and unmanifested. That is the difference. Then what cause is there for lamentation, either in the stage of manifestation or in unmanifestation? Somehow or other, even in the unmanifested stage, things are not lost. Both at the beginning and at the end, all elements remain unmanifested, and only in the middle are they manifested. And this does not make any real material difference.
Hare Krishna. You all remember I had told about 24 elements, 5 Karmendriya, 5 Jnanendriya, 5 Indra Vishaya, 5 Panchatattva, 3 Sukshma Indriya, and Mahatattva. These are the 25 elements. Everything, Vastu and Vyakti in this material world are made out of these 24 elements. So, in other words, Jai Madha Prabhu, I can say that these are raw materials for Vyakti and Vastu. Whatever you see in this material world, these are the raw materials. So, when Pralaya takes place, everything goes inside the body of Lord Mahavishnu or Karnadaksha Vishnu. Everything goes inside. Everything becomes unmanifested at that time. It's just like they all are stored in a godown. All the raw materials are then stored in a godown. It's like, and that is called Pradhan. Pradhan is a stage where all unmanifested things, they are stored in a godown. So all the Vastu and all the Vyakti, they all go inside a godown in the form of 24 elements. Again, when creation comes, because of exhalation of Mahavishnu, you know, when Mahavishnu exhales, all the Brahmans again emanate from his body. When the Mahavishnu inhales, when Mahavishnu inhales, there is devastation, pralaya, and everything comes inside his body. When everything comes inside his body, everything is in a unmanifested state, raw material to raw material state, 24 elements. But when again he exhales, Brahman comes out, and we know how Garbhodaksha Vishnu enters in every Brahman. From him, Brahmaji comes. Brahmaji does the creation. With 24 elements, he makes the entire population of that particular Brahman, of all the Brahman, Vastu and Vyakti. Pura bhar deta hai. So the raw material turns into finished product. Till now, anybody has any question or anybody has not understood, I will repeat. বোঝা গেল প্রতিমা মাতাজি? আমি বাংলায় একবার বলে দিচ্ছি। যখন মহাবিষ্ণু শ্বাস নিচ্ছেন ভেতরে, সবগুলো র মেটেরিয়াল হয়ে প্রধান বই গোডাউনে পড়ে আছে। দুটো জিনিস আছে পৃথিবীতে, ব্যক্তি আর বস্তু, তৃতীয় কিছু নেই। ঠিক বলছি? ব্যক্তি আছে আর বস্তু আছে, এর বাইরে আর কিছু নেই পৃথিবীতে। এই দুটোই আনম্যানিফেস্ট হয়ে মহাবিষ্ণুর ভেতরে চলে গেল। প্রধান বলে একটা জায়গা আছে, প্রধান বলে জিনিস আছে, মানে 24 এলিমেন্টস হয়ে র মেটেরিয়াল হয়ে চলে গেল। এখন আমরা র মেটেরিয়াল স্টেটে আছি? নো, উই আর ফিনিশ প্রোডাক্ট। আমাদের পঞ্চতত্ত্ব বগেরা বগেরা র মেটেরিয়াল আমাদের ব্যক্তি, উই হ্যাভ আ বডি. So similarly, this mobile is also made from 24 elements. This has a body now. It's in a finished product. But when devastation takes place, all are in unmanifested state, raw material state. Prithvi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, Akash, oglo hoye jay. And all are stored in a godown called known as Pradhan.
প্রভু আজ থ্যাংক ইউ, আজকে এটা ক্লিয়ার হলো। এই প্রধান ব্যাপারটা না খুব আনক্লিয়ার ছিল, ধোঁয়াশা ছিল, যে প্রধান জিনিসটা কি, কেন এটাকে প্রধান বলা হয়, মানে মহাতত্ত্বের সাথে প্রধান অ্যাড করা।
During exhalation, during creation, যখন ব্রহ্মাণ্ড আবার যখন বেরোয়, and you know when creation takes place, Mahavishnu gives all the 24 elements, and Brahmaji and also the external energy of the Lord, they all use these 24 elements to create Vastu and Vyakti. Brahmaji is there in progeny. আত্মাগুলো তো উপর থেকে আসে, কিন্তু বডি দিতে তো হবে, শুধু আত্মা আসলে তো হবে না। The souls fall down from the spiritual world, কিন্তু সোল গুলো তো সোল, শুধু র সোল, ওর মধ্যে তো 24 এলিমেন্টস দিয়ে 84 লাখ স্পিসিস এর ঢাকনা তো দিতে হবে। বোঝা যাচ্ছে শুভঙ্কর প্রভু কি বলছি আজকে? কে কি হবে চেতনা অনুসারে তাদের শরীর তো দিতে হবে, ইউজিং দোজ 24 এলিমেন্টস। সেগুলো ব্রহ্মাজি করবে প্রজেনি করে। প্রজেনি মানে সৃষ্টি, ক্রিয়েশন করে, মানুষ সাতুরূপা এন্ড এটসেট্রা এটসেট্রা, এইভাবে সৃষ্টি এগোবে, 84 লক্ষ দিয়ে পুরো ভরে দেবে ওই ব্রহ্মাণ্ড। This is how manifestation takes place. So whatever you read now, Shalini Mataji, please read from this. Take for example a big skyscraper. Please সবাই বই ফলো করুন। Please unmute. Why is your sound not coming? Something wrong with the Bluetooth. We can't hear you. Something wrong with the Bluetooth, not with the mute unmute. Log out and log in otherwise. Jai Madhaprabhu করুন।
Take for example,
Hare Krishna.
Continue. We can hear you. বলুন, করুন।
Take for example, a big skyscraper manifested from the earth. When it is dismantled, the manifestation becomes again unmanifested and remains as atoms in the ultimate stage. The law of conservation of energy remains, but in course of time, things are manifested and unmanifested. That is the difference. Then, what cause is there for lamentation, either in the stage of manifestation or in unmanifestation? Somehow or other, even in the unmanifested stage, things are not lost. Both at the beginning and at the end, all elements remain unmanifested, and only in the middle are they manifested, and this does not make any real material difference.
Clear? Understood everything? From unmanifested to manifested, and again back to unmanifest. Now my question to Shubhankar Prabhu, please unmute. Unmute করুন। Presently we are in manifest to unmanifested state, Shubhankar Prabhu.
We are in manifest.
Okay. Sure. Not sure.
मैनिफेस्ट हुआ है इसलिए तो श्योर नहीं है पूरा।
Not sure. Of course, we are in manifested state, na? Are we in raw material or finished product? We are in manifested state. I hope nobody has doubt about this. Okay. Continue. And if we accept,
And if we accept the Vedic conclusion as stated in the Bhagavad Gita that these material bodies are perishable in due course of time, antavanta ime deha, but that the soul is eternal, nitya shokta sarirnaha, then we must remember always that the body is like a dress. Therefore, why lament the changing of a dress? The material body has no factual existence in relation to the eternal soul. It is something like a dream. In a dream, we may think of flying in the sky or sitting on a chariot as a king. But when we wake up, we can see that we are neither in the sky nor seated in the chariot. The Vedic wisdom encourages self realization on the basis of the non existence of the material body. Therefore, in either case, whether one believes in the existence of the soul or one does not believe in the existence of the soul, there is no cause for lamentation for loss of the body.
Whether you believe in the soul or you not believe in the soul, but the body is going to perish anyways. Please see if anything is not understood in this particular purport. Don't feel shy to ask anything.
হরে কৃষ্ণ প্রভুজি। প্রভুজি এখানে বলেছে মানে যদিও আমরা ম্যানিফেস্টেড স্টেজে রয়েছি, তবুও এটা আমাদের একটা স্বপ্নের মতো ভাবতে হবে, তাই তো? মানে ইটস লাইক এ ড্রিম, কি আমরা এটা একদম সোল লেভেলে বিশ্বাস করতে পারবো না।
Absolutely. কারণ কি এখানে বলছে যে সোল বলে কিছু নাও থাকে, if say because many people don't believe in soul, ওটা দিয়ে স্টার্ট হয়েছে দেখুন পারপোর্টটা, two kinds of philosophers. So even if there is no soul, for example, take for example nothing is soul, but the body anyway, body keeps on changing, so what is there to lament? That's what Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna. I don't know whether you get the logic or not. Sloka number 29. Acharyavat pashyati kaschidinam. সবাই বলুন।
Acharyavat
पश्यति
Tatsayanam
Acharyavat vadati tathaiva chanya.
Acharyavat Vadanti Tathaiva Chana
Acharyavam chainam anya shrinoti.
Acharyavat Chainam Anyam Shrunoti
Tadvapyanam vedana chaiva kaschid.
Tutaya Evam Vedana Chaiva Kasyat.
Yes, continue please.
Some look on the soul as amazing, some describe him as amazing, and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all.
Purport.
Since Gita Upanishad is largely based on the principles of the Upanishads, it is not surprising to also find this passage in the Katha Upanishad. প্রভু সুরটা কেরম হবে?
Ta 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 ta.
শ্রবण्याপি বহুবীর্যো না লাভ্য শ্রণবাপ্তো
Trinvantapi bahavoyam na vidyu.
আশ্চর্য বক্তা কুশলো সলব্ধা আশ্চর্য জ্ঞাতা কুশলানি সহ.
Yeah, very nice. Kushalanu Shishta. Continue.
The fact that the atomic soul is within the body of a gigantic animal, in the body of a gigantic banyan tree, and also in the microbic germs, millions and billions of which occupy only an inch of space, is certainly very amazing. Men with a poor fund of knowledge and men who are not austere cannot understand the wonders of the individual atomic spark of the spirit, even though it is explained by the greatest authority of knowledge, who imparted lessons even to Brahma, the first living being in the universe. Owing to a gross material concept.
Hold on. Understood everybody? Line by line, sentence by sentence, everybody is understanding what's happening? মন দিয়ে শুনতে হবে, নাহলে otherwise you will get lost in the purport. These are long purports. Monte ektu edik odik gale, you will just lose focus. And then when you bring back your mind, it will be very difficult to connect or reconnect. Continue, please. Owing.
Owing to a gross material conception of things, most men in this age cannot imagine how such a small particle can become both so great and so small. So men look at the soul proper as wonderful either by constitution or by description. Illusioned by the material energy, people are so engrossed in subject matters for sense gratification that they have very little time to understand the question of self-understanding, even though it is a fact that without this self-understanding, all activities result in ultimate defeat in the struggle for existence.
Understood?
Perhaps
You might know the biggest of things and biggest of scientific machineries, whatever. But if you don't know this about the 1 divided by 10,000 part of a tip of the hair, a small thing, if you don't know, have no knowledge, then it's a waste of life. That's what Prabhupada is hinting at. Yeah. Continue.
Perhaps they have no idea that one must think of the soul and thus make a solution to the material miseries.
Hmm.
Some people who are inclined to hear about the soul may be attending lectures in good association, but sometimes, owing to ignorance, they are misguided by acceptance of the super soul and the atomic soul as one without distinction of magnitude. It is very difficult to find a man who perfectly understands the position of the supersoul, the atomic soul, their respective functions and relationships, and all other major and minor details. And it is still more difficult to find a man who has actually derived full benefit from knowledge of the soul and who is able to describe the position of the soul in different aspects. But if somehow or other one is able to understand the subject matter of the soul, then one's life is successful.
So very, very important chapter, the entire chapter 2. Because this is going to make or break your spiritual life. You have to understand each and every sentence, especially about the soul. Anything, any question till now, any sentence, you're finding it difficult to understand, please continue. See, now we have a big, big chapter coming up. I mean, we are already in the middle of the chapter. Now I have to speed up. So unless you all stop me, I will not stop. Yeah. Please continue. The easiest.
The easiest process for understanding the subject matter of self, however, is to accept the statements of the Bhagavad Gita spoken by the greatest authority,
This is
Lord
the easiest.
Krishna. Without,
Just accept it and go ahead. This is the easiest. But a lot of people will think, no, cross-checking. I need more proof. I need more supporting statements. Uh, yeah, continue, Lord Krishna.
Lord Krishna, without being deviated by other theories. But it also requires a great deal of penance and sacrifice, either in this life or in the previous ones, before one is able to accept Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna,
Understood this statement? One needs to have this sukriti. Uh, Directly will come, read Bhagavad Gita, and you will understand everything line by line, sentence is not necessary. You must have some sukriti background. However, in if you have zero sukriti, but if you are in association of a pure devotee of Lord, then also it is possible. Continue.
Krishna can, however, be known as such by the causeless mercy of the pure devotee and by no other way.
Ah, so this is what Prabhupada said. If you have no zero sukriti, previous life, no pious activities, no tapasya, nothing, no penance, but you came across a pure soul like Prabhupada. Understood? Any question till now? Next, sloka number 30. Dehi nityam avad avad soyam
देहि नित्यम् अवध्योऽयो
देहे सर्वस्य भारत
देहे सर्वस्य भारत
देहे सर्वस्य भारत
तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि
तस्मात्
तस्मात्
सर्वाणि
सर्वाणि
भूतानि
न त्वं शोचितुम् अर्हसि
न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि
अर्हसि
Yeah, somebody else who wants to read? Aparu?
Translation. O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body is eternal and can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grave for any creature.
Slowly. Understood everybody the translation? Clear? Continue.
Purport. The Lord now concludes the chapter of instruction on the immutable spirit soul. In describing the immortal soul in various ways, Lord Krishna establishes that the soul is immortal and the body is temporary. Therefore, Arjuna, as a Kshatriya, should not abandon his duty out of fear that his grandfather and teacher Bhishma and Drona will die in the battle. On the authority of Sri Krishna, one has to believe that there is a soul different from the material body, not that there is no such thing as soul, or that living symptoms develop at a certain stage of material maturity resulting from the interaction of chemicals.
This is another bogus theory. Because of interaction of chemical, suddenly the living symptoms develop. Yeah, continue.
Though the soul is immortal, violence is not encouraged. But at the time of war, it is not discouraged when there is actual need for it. That need must be justified in terms of the sanction of the Lord and not capriciously. Hare Krishna Prabhu, ये capriciously माने it.
Okay. Though the soul is immortal, violence is not encouraged. But at the time of war, it is not discouraged when there is actual need for it. The need must be justified in terms of the sanction of the Lord and not capriciously, out of mental concoction. Just check the dictionary meaning of capriciously.
Google.
The need must be justified in terms of the sanction of the Lord. Man ki इच्छा से, something like out of.
माने अपना इच्छा से कुछ नहीं करे, भगवान की जो है वही करे, ऐसा कुछ.
Yes, capriciously. Capricious meaning it is terrible to feel our livelihood giving to a sudden and unaccountable change of mood of behavior. I feel like, just like that, man se, man gara. Because you feel like that's why, no. It must be sanctioned by the Lord. What you feel does not matter. What Lord feels, that is important. Sloka number 31. Swadharmanapi chaviksha
स्वधर्मानपि चाविच्य
navikampitum arhasi dharmadhi yuddha shreyo anyat
धर्मादि युद्धश्रेयो न
kshatriyasya na vidyate.
क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते.
Please continue.
Translation. Considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles, and so there is no need for hesitation.
So as a Kshatriya, the main engagement should be warfare. Purport.
But out of the four orders of total administration, the second order for the matter of good administration is called Kshatriya. Shat means heart. One who gives protection from harm is called Kshatriya. Trayate, to give protection. The Kshatriyas are trained for killing in the forest. A Kshatriya would go into the forest and challenge a tiger face to face and fight with the tiger with his sword. When the tiger was killed, it would be offered the royal order of cremation. This
Understood.
system is
Who would be offered the royal order of cremation? Pratima Mataji?
the Kshatriya.
No, wrong. The tiger.
वो क्षत्रिय टाइगर को ऑफर करेंगे.
No,
The
yeah,
tiger.
tiger will be offered the royal order of cremation. So he'll be cremated with. It's not that they will eat the flesh of the tiger. This is I've hunted the tiger. Let me eat the flesh. No, because he has helped the king, for hunting purpose to gain chivalry. So he is a special tiger. You understand? It's like a practice for the king. When a king needs to develop mm, such terrifying behavior. Otherwise, how will the king lead in case of a war? And this tiger has helped the king to develop that. So that's why the tiger is offered a royal cremation.
Oh.
Am I understood?
Hmm.
Yeah. Continue.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु
Yes.
प्रभु पहले के राजा महाराजा लोग ये लोग जो माने ये मारते थे तो was it allowed because he's a kshatriya he would
Yes.
kill an
There is
animal.
need. There is need. How a person, if he doesn't see, at least they are practicing. They're going jungles and killing lower animals. For basically the main intention is to practice killing. How will he lead the army? হাত ভরভর ভরভর কাঁপবে কিছু চালাতে বুঝতে পারছেন and he is supposed to lead for a war. The king is supposed to be standing right in the front. So that's
But
why.
nowadays,
So they are not allowed to kill.
Brahmanas doing Shudra's job and Shudras are doing like.
That is the sad story of Kali Yuga. But in different yugas, especially in the advanced yuga like Satya Yuga, etc., a king need to practice hunting. But the basic motive for practicing hunting is to practicing for warfare. He needs to see blood. He needs to touch blood. Otherwise, the king will be vomiting in the war by seeing blood. Understood?
Yes.
Yeah. Continue.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So the basic purpose is the intention for war, the intention for hunting must be clear. The intention is not that I will have deer meat. That is not the intention. Yeah, continue.
This system is being followed even up to the present day by the Kshatriya kings of Jaipur state. The Kshatriyas are specially trained for challenging and killing because religious violence is sometimes a necessary factor. Therefore, Kshatriyas are never meant for accepting directly the order of sannyasa or renunciation.
Hare Krishna. Because if they take sannyas and if they go, who will run the kingdom? And also the previous statement is very important. Because religious violence is sometimes a necessary factor. Religious violence, dharma yudh, very important. Just like here, dharma yudh is happening. What was the first shloka?
Dharma Kshetre
Kurukshetra, yes. So dharma yudh is going to happen. Start. Continue. Non-violence.
Because religious violence is sometimes a necessary factor. Therefore, Kshatriyas are never meant for accepting directly the order of sannyasa or renunciation. Non-violence in politics may be a diplomacy, but it is never a factor or principle. In the religious law books, it is stated.
What is stated? Please read.
প্রভু লাস্ট লাইনটা একটুখানি বলুন রিলিজিয়াস ল বুককে এটা বলা হয়নি
In the religious law books it is stated. Religious law books may be Manu Samhita, it's nothing is mentioned, maybe something else, I don't know. Prabhupada does not mention. Oh, you want the shloka tune?
No.
Then read.
বাংলা বই দিয়ে পড়ি
Ahaveshu
মিথাহুনন্যং জিংঘাং সন্ত মহিষিত যুদ্ধমানং পরং শক্ত্যা স্বর্গং যান্ত পরাং ইউংখা যজ্ঞেষু পশব ব্রহ্মণ অনন্তে সততং জিজে সংস্কৃতা কিল মন্ত্রৈশ্চ তেহপি স্বর্গম বাপনুমান. In the battlefield, a king or Kshatriya, while fighting another king envious of him, is eligible for achieving heavenly planets after death, as the Brahmanas also attain the heavenly planets by sacrificing animals in the sacrificial fire. Therefore, killing on the battle on the religious principle and the killing of animals in the sacrificial fire are not at all considered to be acts of violence. Because everyone is benefited by the religious principles involved.
Hare
The
Krishna. Everyone is benefited. The killer is also benefited, and even the killed, even the victim is benefited. Similarly, in case of a sacrifice, the victim is the animal. The animal is also benefited. How the animal is benefited? Maybe he'll be elevated to a higher species. Maybe he needed to go through a lot of lakhs of species and then become human. But because he was used as a sacrificial animal, so next life will be a human birth. Maybe, I don't know. Chitragupta knows. But maybe. Elevation হয়ে যাবে বুঝতে পারছেন? He will skip few species. Continue. The animal.
The animal sacrificed gets a human life immediately without undergoing.
See, it is written here, human life, direct human life. So what an elevation, good, na? Rather he be killed. If you give a choice to the animals, sir, what do you want? Rather be killed and you will be given a human birth. The animal says, yes, yes, please kill me. Yeah.
The gradual evolutionary process from one form to another, and the Kshatriyas killed in the battlefield also attain the heavenly planets, as do the Brahmanas who attain them by offering sacrifice.
See, it's a win-win for both, even for the Brahmana, because he is doing some yajna and is killing an animal and giving an opportunity for elevation of species. So he himself is going to heavenly planets.
প্রভু এইভাবে বলি প্রথা তার মানে শুরু হয়েছে এই কনসেপ্ট দিয়েই।
শুরু মানে সবসময় ছিল, শুরু হয়েছে কি করে বলবেন? শুরু হওয়া বলাটাও তো ভুল, বিকজ কবে ছিল? লর্ড ইজ অনাদি, jiva is anadi, scriptures also anadi. Yeah, there are
two kinds of swadharmas, specific duties. As long as one is not liberated, one has to perform the duties of that particular body is accordance with religious in accordance with religious principles in order to achieve liberation. When one is liberated, one's swadharma, specific duty, becomes spiritual and is not in the material bodily concept. In the bodily conception of life, there are specific duties for the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas respectively, and such duties are unavoidable. Sadharma is ordained by the Lord, and this will be clarified in the 4th chapter. On the bodily plane, Swadharma is called Varnasrama Dharma, or man's stepping stone for spiritual understanding. Human civilization begins from the stage of Varnasram Dharma, or specific duties in terms of specific modes of nature of the body are obtained. Discharging one specific duty in any field of action in accordance with Varnasrama Dharma serves to elevate one to a higher status of life.
Okay, understood. So following the Varnashram Dharma is a pre-qualification. But again, remember what is written in the starting of this paragraph, very important. There are two types of swadharmas. As long as one is not liberated, one has to follow swadharma. But when one becomes in a liberated stage, he can even give up following swadharma. That is, he can even give up following Varnashram. That is on a higher platform. That's what Mahaprabhu did. He was a Grihastha. He was following Swadharma. But for a higher purpose, lower purposes can be sacrificed. Clear? That's why Supreme Lord also says, Sarva Dharman Parityajya. And Sarva Dharman includes Varnashram also. Even when Gauranga Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda Rai in Rajmundri, tell me, what is the highest perfection of life? First, Ramananda Rai says, highest perfection of life is to follow Swadharma, follow the Varnashram Dharma. Then Mahaprabhu says, this is okay, but give me something else. Eti bhajyo, Mahaprabhu says, it is external, give me something else. What is it? Higher than that. Then Ramananda Rai says, higher than that is to give up the Varnashram Dharma, to give up the Swadharma. Then again Mahaprabhu says, okay, this is also good, but tell me more. Then so and then so forth, Ramananda Rai goes ahead. Are things setting in or it's flying above? কিছু বোঝা যাচ্ছে না কিছু বোঝা যাচ্ছে না swadharma giving up swadharma. Okay, now this means okay, and this also means thinga. So that's why so I'm seeing all blank faces. Vishwarup Prabhu.
পার্ট গুলো একটুখানি কঠিন আজকে শ্লোকের
বলুন যদি বুঝতে না পারেন বলুন then see you are supposed to understand these logics, otherwise I'll speed up. I am still halting and asking so many times, ask if you all don't understand. If your foundation is not strong, পরে গিয়ে এর উপর বেসিস করে ভাগবত গীতা is elementary book, you know. It is called Bhagavad Gita is a book for graduation. Above than this is Bhagavatam, which is masters. Above them that is Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is called doctorate, PhD. So if your graduation is not nice, not well done, not strong, এর উপর ভিত্তিতে কি করবেন নাকি? না বুঝলে জিজ্ঞেস করুন, বারবার বলতে বলতে তো হাঁপিয়েও গেছি। Next, shloka number 32. Yadrichaya chopapannam.
Yadrichaya chopapannam.
Swarga dwaramapavritam. Sukhina kshatriya partha. Labhante yuddham idrisham. Yes, next who wants to read?
I want to read, Prabhu.
Please continue.
O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities came unsought, opening for them the door of the heavenly planet. Purport.
Wait.
Supreme.
Wait. Everybody go through the purport. Sorry, translation. Purport.
By fighting, the door is open for the heavenly planet, right, Prabhu?
Yes.
Yeah. Purport. The supreme teacher of the world, Lord Krishna, condemned the attitude of Arjun, who said, I do not find any good in this fighting. It will cause perpetual habitation in hell. Such statement by Arjuna.
Perpetual habitation in hell? Understood, Shubhankar Prabhu, বুঝতে পারছেন? Perpetual habitation in hell? কি বুঝতে পেরেছেন? আনমিউট করে বলুন।
ও বলছে যে এখানে যদি কেউ যদি যুদ্ধ না করে সে নরকেও স্থায়ী হতে পারে।
পারপেচুয়াল হ্যাবিটেশন মানে কি কন্টিনিউয়াস একদম পার্মানেন্ট মেম্বার হয়ে যাবে, যেমন লাইফ মেম্বার বলছিলেন না স্বামী মাতাজি, আমার বাবা লাইফ মেম্বার, তেমন ওখানকার নরকের লাইফ মেম্বার হয়ে যাবে কেউ যদি somebody does not, I mean being a kshatriya, somebody does not fight, that person will become a perpetual habitation in hell. বোঝা গেল অঙ্কিতা মাতাজি?
এটা স্বধর্ম হচ্ছে, দেহগত স্বধর্ম হচ্ছে।
If somebody does not follow the swadharmas, like a kshatriya doesn't fight, so this is what is going to happen for him, to him. Yeah, continue. Such statements by?
One statement by Arjuna were due to ignorance only. He wanted to become non-violent in the discharge of his specific duty. For a kshatriya to be on a battlefield and to become non-violent is the philosophy of fools. In Parasa Samriti or religious
Parasar Smriti
or religious code made by Parasa, the great sage and father of Vyasdev, it is stated, Kshatriyo hi praja krashan Shastra
ঠিক করে পড়ুন, Kshatriyo hi prajaraksham Shastra pani
Kshatriyo hi prajaraksham Shastra pani Dandayan Nirijitya Parashentyad Chiktam dharmena palyate. Then the
Shite
Kshatriya's
dharmena
duty.
palayet. The Kshatriya's duty.
The Kshatriya's duty is to protect the citizens from all kinds of difficulties, and for that reason, he has to apply violence in suitable case for law and order. Therefore, he has conquered the soldier of inimical king, and thus the religious principle he should rule over the world, considering all
Okay, let me
aspects.
leave for some time. Wait. The Kshatriya's duty is to protect the citizens from all kinds of difficulties. And for that reason, he has to apply violence in suitable cases for law and order. Clear? Clear till now? Therefore, he has to conquer the soldiers of inimical kings. Inimical means Shatru, Raja. He has to conquer them. And thus, with religious principles, he should rule over the world. Considering all aspects, Arjuna has no reason to refrain from fighting. If he should conquer his enemies, he would enjoy the kingdom. And if he should die in the battle, he would be elevated to heavenly planets, whose doors were wide open to him. Fighting would be for him, for his benefit in either case. In both the situation, even if he loses or he wins, it would be, his beneficial. समझ में आ रहा है शिवानी माता जी? In both ways, either way,
Yes,
he would be
Prabhu.
benefited. He would be benefited. Yes, Pratima Mataji, বলুন।
I have question. যদি মানে যে ব্রাহ্মণ সে যদি তার স্বধর্ম পালন না করে সে যদি শুদ্ধদের মতো কাজ করে তাহলে সে কি স্বর্গে যাবে না, তাহলে সে নরক যন্ত্রণায় চলে যাবে, তাই তো? মানে পার্মানেন্ট এরকম।
এখানে সত্যি ক্ষত্রিয়র উদাহরণ দেওয়া হয়েছে। ক্ষত্রিয় যদি যুদ্ধ না করে তাহলে তার অধঃপতন হবে।
হ্যাঁ, মানে সে তার স্বধর্মের যেটা সেটা করতেই হবে। সেরকম যদি
আর ক্ষত্রিয় যদি যুদ্ধ করে দুটো জিনিস হতে পারে। দেখুন, যুদ্ধ করলে দুটো জিনিস হতে পারে, হয়তো মৃত্যু হতে পারে, নয়তো জয়ী হতে পারে। মৃত্যু হলে স্বর্গে যাবে, জয়ী হলে রাজভোগ করবে। রাজভোগ করবে মানে ওই মিষ্টি রাজভোগের কথা বলছি না, মানে রাজত্ব ভোগ করবে। হ্যাঁ, সো বোথ সিচুয়েশন হি উইল বি উইনার। শুভঙ্কর প্রভু।
ইয়েস প্রভু, একটা প্রশ্ন আছে, যদি ক্ষত্রিয় যদি অধর্মী হয় তাও কি সে স্বর্গে যেতে পারে যে যুদ্ধ করে?
অধর্মী হয়, ক্ষত্রিয় যদি অধর্মী হয় কিন্তু যদি যুদ্ধ করে মানে স্বধর্মকে পালন করছে, তার তো এলিভেশনই হবে। একটা জিনিস মনে রাখবেন, কোনো একটা প্রাইজের জন্য কোনো একটা, আমি বুঝতে পেরেছি প্রশ্নটা কোন থেকে ওখানে যাবে, প্রশ্নটার শাখা প্রশাখা আছে এটা বুঝতে পেরেছি। ওই জন্য আগে থেকে কন্ডিশন গুলো বলে দিচ্ছি। কে কোথায় যাবে কোনো একটা ফ্যাক্টরের উপর ডিপেন্ড করে না। ওকে, so many things are considered before the destination is considered. তার মনের স্থিতি কি মৃত্যুর সময়, that is one of the factor is whether he has followed the swadharma or not. This is one of the factors. So you were about to give example of Duryodhan, correct? That was your sub question. Yeah. So Duryodhan's nature was what? Then Duryodhan's mentality at the time of death was what? What did Duryodhan do throughout the life? Another thing, don't forget, he is also a participant in the drama of the Supreme Lord, isn't he? So all these factors needs to be considered before considering the destination of Duryodhan. So Duryodhan is not any ordinary mischievous person. He is also a participant in the drama of the Supreme Lord. So all these things needs to be considered before considering his destination. Okay. So Chitragupta does a very tedious job for all of us. So many factors he considers at the time of death before deciding what body he will give next. Okay. That is the answer. Yes. Sloka number 33. Atha chettvamimam dharmamyam dharmyam samam na karishyasi
Sangramam na karishyasi
तथा स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च हित्वा पापम् अवाप्स्यसि। If, however, you do not perform your religious duty for fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. Arjuna was a famous fighter and he attained fame by fighting many great demigods, including even Lord Shiva. In some fighting, he helped Lord Shiva. Oh, he was famous and he attained fame by fighting many demigods, including he fought against Lord Shiva, I think, and he won. ऐसा कुछ हुआ. After fighting and defeating Lord Shiva in the dress of a hunter, Arjuna pleased the Lord and received as a reward a weapon called Pashupata Astra. Everyone knew that he was a great warrior. Even Dronacharya gave him benedictions and awarded him the special weapon by which he could kill even his teacher. So he was credited with so many military certificates from many authorities, including his adoptive father Indra, the heavenly king. But if he abandoned the battle, not only would he neglect his specific duty as a Kshatriya, but he would lose all his fame and good name and thus prepare his royal road to hell. In other words, he would go to hell not by fighting, but by withdrawing from battle. And he will get a permanent life member there. Clear? Akirtim chapi bhutani
Akirtim
Bhutani
Ayushyanti te avyam
Tathayushyanti te avyam
Sambhavitasya chakrirtir
Sambhavitasya
Shambhavitasya
Paranat ati richyate.
Maranatarityate.
People will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. Purport. Both as friend and philosopher to Arjuna, Lord Krishna now gives his final judgment regarding Arjuna's refusal to fight. The Lord says, Arjuna, if you leave the battlefield before the battle even begins, people will call you a coward. And if you think that people may call you bad names, but that you will save your life by fleeing the battlefield, then my advice is that you do better die in you better to die in the battle than to run away from the battle. Clear? For a respectable man like you, ill fame is worse than death. So you should not flee for fear of your life. Better to die in the battle. That will save you from ill fame of misusing my friendship and from losing your prestige in the society. So the final judgment of the Lord was for Arjuna to die in the battlefield and not. Clear? Garma garam chal raha hai na shloka? Yes, Rajiv Prabhu.
Prabhu, so like there is one incident, pastime, no, where Krishna becomes Ranchor, so he
Yeah.
flees the.
Yes, yes.
So how to relate that with this one, Prabhu? Here he is saying that if you run away, it's better you die.
Krishna ran away, and he that I think this happened in the case of Jarasandha. Na? In Jarasandha, he ran away, and Jarasandha kept on following him. Then, running. Then I think, if I'm not mistaken, he ran away, and then Jarasandha then kuch aag laga diya, and they both Krishna Balaram jumped from some place, and Jarasandha thought that he has died. Something like that happened, right?
I don't remember, Prabhu, exactly full incident.
So that running away from the battlefield was not out of fear from Jarasandha, and neither it was out of lamentation the way Arjuna is facing here. Correct? Was it out of fear of Jarasandha? No. He's a supreme lord. Jarasandha, if you see, spiritually, he's father of all, including Jarasandha. So what's there to run away? Rather, it was, as far as I remember, in a different way, he wanted to kill Jarasandha. And then Jarasandha also put fire in some place, and then Krishna Balaram jumped from that place, and they got saved. And Jarasandha thought they had died, and they had died, both of them. Similarly, in case of Shishupal, if you remember, Rajiv Prabhu, he did not kill Shishupal. Every time he came with fleet of armies, he killed everybody, Krishna. But he left Shishupal alive. You all know this? Why he left Shishupal alive? Because Shishupal, he would go back and again gather another Akshoni, 17 Akshoni, I think what 10 or 12 Akshoni Sena. All those who were miscreants. Again bring back to him to fight. And Krishna would kill all, but again he would leave Shishupal. He did this 17 times, Shishupal. 17 times he gathered fleet of armies and came to fight with Krishna. And every time Krishna left him. So Krishna left him, it's not because of out of fear, but so that it will help him. It would help Krishna. Instead of going and killing all miscreants, this fellow is bringing all miscreants to him. Home delivery, Zomato. Easier for Krishna na, to kill. So there are a lot of other factors we need to understand. Any question? Next, Sloka, Pichatis. Hare Krishna. That's the way we say? Paitis or Pichatis? What we say?
Patis.
Please Google and see who says Pichatis, then you'll understand. YouTube में जाइए and Google Pichatis, then you'll see. Bhayadra Ranad Uparatam. Mamsante Tvam Maharatha. Esham cha Tvam Bahumato. Yasyasi Laghavam. Krishna continues, the great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant. Purport. Lord Krishna continued to give his direct verdict to Arjuna. Do not think that the great generals like Duryodhana, Karna and other contemporaries will think that you have left the battlefield out of compassion for your brothers and grandfather. They will think that you have left out of fear for your life. And thus, their high estimation of your personality will go to hell. Avachya vadamscha bahun. Padishanti tavahita. Nindantastava samartham. Tato dukhataram nukim. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? Lord Krishna was astonished in the beginning at Arjuna's uncalled for plea for compassion, and he described his compassion as befitting the non-Aryans. Now, in so many words, he capital He for Krishna, has proved his statements against Arjuna's so-called compassion. When we were reading last chapter, when Arjuna was trying to convince Krishna why he should not fight, a few of us felt, his logic is completely perfect. And now you're seeing, now you're feeling that Krishna's logic is completely perfect. अभी ऐसा लग रहा है ना? Next, 37. Hato va prapsyasi swargam. Jitva va bhokshase mahim. Tasmad utthishta kaunteya. Yudhaya krita nishchaya.
युद्धया कृतनिश्चयः
O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight. Purport. Even though there was no certainty of victory for Arjuna's side, even though there was no certainty of victory for Arjuna's side, मैं ठीक पढ़ रहा हूं ना? He still had to fight. Even though there was no certainty of victory for Arjuna's side, I mean, of course, he still had to fight. For even being killed there, he could be elevated into heavenly planets. I mean, nobody can decide now who will be the winner. Of course, Krishna is in his side, but still, nobody can vouch before the war starts that he'll be the winner. In that sense, Prabhupada is writing, there was no certainty. कोई तो लिख के नहीं गया कि he'll win. Clear? Number 38. Sukha. Acha, Sadrita Mataji, are you there?
Yes, Hare Krishna.
What is today's agenda like? Till what shloka we should have finished? Or we should finish?
Till 53, I see in
Today?
the group. Prabhuji has written from 31 to 53. Though we started today, I think from 27 or 26.
Okay. So today we are supposed to do till 53.
Yeah, till 53.
Okay. Sukha dukhe same kritva.
सुखदुःखे समे कृत्वा
Labha labhau jaya jayau.
लाभजयो
Yudhaya yujyasva.
ततो युद्धाय युज्यस्व
Naivam papam avapsasi.
नैवं पापमवाप्स्यसि
Do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat. And by doing so, you shall never incur sin. Lord Krishna now directly says that Arjun should fight for the sake of fighting because he desires the battle. There is no considering of happiness or distress, profit or gain, victory or defeat in the activities of Krishna consciousness. That everything should be performed for the sake of Krishna is transcendental consciousness. So there is no reaction to material activities. He who acts for his own sense gratification, either in goodness or in passion, is subject to the reactions, good or bad. But he who has completely surrendered himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness is no longer obliged to anyone, nor is he a debtor to anyone, as one is in the ordinary course of activities. Till here, is it clear? Krishna says, because main bol karo, you fight. Do thou for the sake of fighting. Go and fight. Next shloka 39. Eshete abhihiti hita sankhe
एषते विहितसङ्ख्ये
buddhir yoge tvamimam shrinu.
बुद्धियोगे
Imam Shrino.
Yaya partha
बुद्ध्या पार्थ
karma bandham prahasyasi.
कर्मबन्धं प्रहस्यसि
Thus, mute. Thus far, I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Now listen as I explain in terms of working without fruitive activities, fruitive results. O son of Pritha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of work. According to the Nirukti, or the Vedic dictionary, Sankhya means that which describes things in detail, and Sankhya refers to that philosophy which describes the real nature of the soul. And yoga involves controlling the senses. Arjuna's proposal not to fight was based on sense gratification. Forgetting his prime duty, he wanted to seize fighting, because he thought that by not killing his relatives and kinsmen, he would be happier than by enjoying the kingdom after conquering his cousins and brothers, the sons of Dhritarashtra. In both ways, the basic principles were for sense gratification. Understood till now? In both ways, either ways, for sense gratification, correct? Please 100% concentrate, otherwise miss ho jayega. Happiness derived from conquering them and happiness derived by seeing kinsmen alive are both on the basis of personal sense gratification, even at a sacrifice of wisdom and duty. Krishna therefore wanted to explain to Arjuna that by killing the body of his grandfather, he would not be killing the soul proper. And he explained that all individual persons, including Lord himself, are eternal individuals. They were individuals in the past, they are individuals in the present, and they will continue to remain individuals in the future, because all of us are individual souls eternally. We simply change our bodily dress in different manners, but actually we keep our individuality even after liberation from the bondage of material dress. Clear till now? Any question, any sentence bothering? Come to the last para of this shloka. One should therefore understand that Buddhi Yoga means to work in Krishna consciousness. Now, Buddhi Yoga is another synonym for Bhakti Yoga. Okay? I repeat, one should therefore understand that Buddhi Yoga means to work in Krishna consciousness, in the full bliss and knowledge of devotional service. One who works for the satisfaction of the Lord only, however difficult such work may be, is working under the principles of Buddhi Yoga and finds himself always in transcendental bliss. By such transcendental engagement, one achieves all transcendental understanding automatically by the grace of the Lord. And thus, his liberation is complete in itself without his making extraneous endeavors to acquire knowledge. There is much difference between work in Krishna consciousness and work for fruitive results, especially in the matter of sense gratification for achieving results in terms of family or material happiness. Buddhi Yoga is therefore the transcendental quality of the work that we perform. So Bhakti Yoga only. Next shloka, I hope it is there for memory. Please repeat, very important shloka. Neha bhikramana sosti.
Neha
Vikramanaste
Pratyavayo
Pratyavaya
na
na
vidyate
vidyate
Salpamapyasya dharmasya
Swalpamapyasya
Dharmasya
dharmasya
Jayate mahato bhayat.
Jayate
Jayate
mahato
Mahato
bhayat.
Bhayat.
Very, very important shloka. We'll read everything and please hear very attentively. Lord is saying, please mute, please mute. Mute, please, thank you. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution. In this endeavor, in this endeavor of devotional service, there is no loss or diminution. And a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Purport. Activity in Krishna consciousness or acting for the benefit of Krishna without expectation of sense gratification is the highest transcendental quality of work. Even a small beginning of such activity finds no impediments, nor can that small beginning be lost at any stage. Mane boundary ho gaya. Somebody comes into devotional service, he will always get a human life. Perfect, ekdam fix ho gaya. And whatever he has gained will never go for loss. Any work bigger on this material plane has to be completed. Otherwise, the whole attempt becomes a failure. But any work begun in Krishna consciousness has a permanent effect, even though not finished. The performer of such work is therefore not at a loss, even if his work in Krishna consciousness is incomplete. Kuch mrityu ho gaya, but doesn't make any difference. He will continue in the next life. Nothing is wasted. 1% done in Krishna consciousness bears permanent results, so that the next beginning is from the point of 2%. Whereas in material activity, without 100% success, there is no profit. Ajamil performed his duty in some percentage of Krishna consciousness, but the result he enjoyed at the end of his life was 100% by the grace of Lord. That there is a nice verse in this connection in Srimad Bhagavatam. Hope you all understood Ajamil's example. Bujha gelo Prahlad Nrsimha Prabhu? So my question to you is, Ajamil performed his duty in some percentage of Krishna consciousness. What he did, Shubhankar Prabhu? Why Prabhupada is lighting this?
প্রভু অজামিল প্রথম দিকে ভক্তি করেছিল, তো তারপরে ওনার পতন হয়ে যায়, কিন্তু সে
Very good.
ভগবত ধাম যায়। তো
Yes.
অল নারায়ণের নাম একটুখানি ভক্তি করার ফলে তার সে ভয় থেকে মুক্ত হয়,
Very nice.
মৃত্যু থেকে।
Swalpamapyasya dharmasya. Swalpamapyasya, thoda bolo. So as a young boy, Ajamil used to go to the forest with his father to collect some woods, and then his father was a Brahmana and he would perform sacrifices, and Ajamil as a child would help his father. So he had all this Brahmanical training since childhood. So these were the advantages. And also the biggest advantage that happened is that once when he was a bad fellow, Ajamil, later on in his life, one sadhu was passing through his village, and at that same time, Ajamil's youngest son was born. And that sadhu came to his house and said that please keep the son's name Narayan. And he agreed. Although Ajamil at that time was not a good fellow, but still he agreed. And that small thing he agreed. Why? Because he had respect for sadhu little, because he was one of them once upon a time. Understood? So because of that small sukriti, he agreed to keep his youngest son's name Narayan. And that actually saved him. That's why it is said in this shloka, Salpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhaya. थोड़ा भी बहुत भक्ति कर लिया ना, बड़ा बड़ा डेंजर से बचा देगा व्यक्ति को. And isn't that what happened in his case, Ajamil's case? That saved him. Now there is a magnanimous shloka that is coming in front of you from Srimad Bhagavatam. Amazing shloka, amazing. If you understand the shloka, please repeat, all of you all after me. Tvaktva swadharmam charanam bhujam harer.
त्यक्त्वा शरणं हरे
Bhajan apakvo atpate tato yadi. Yatra kwa bhadram abhudamusya kim. Kovartapto abhajatam swadharmata. Please give your 100% to understand this shloka. Amazing shloka. Prabhupada is giving the translation. If someone gives up his occupational duty and works in Krishna consciousness and then falls down on account of not completing his work, what loss is there on his part? Have you all understood till now?
Can you repeat, Prabhu?
If someone gives up his occupational duty, say somebody was a businessman, but he gave up his occupational duty and works in Krishna consciousness full time, okay? And then falls down on account of not completing his work, what loss is there on his part? कोई बोलेगा ना घर का ना घाट का हो गया. No. What loss is there? Say a person, Srila Prabhupada, he was doing fine. I mean, he was getting losses, and after losses, he left his business. He joined Bose's laboratory in Allahabad, Prayagraj, and that also somebody cheated him, and then Prabhupada started devotional service 24/7. Isn't it? That's what happened in his life. And say, for example, say for just an arbitrary example, and say Prabhupada could not succeed in his ambition. Was there any loss? What loss is there? If somebody fails in devotional service, what is loss in there? On the other hand, this is case number one. Okay. Now, on the other hand, and what can one gain if one performs his material activities perfectly? On the other hand, if a person who is a businessman and is following his swadharma, material activities perfectly, is earning nicely, is giving all money to his all family members, is keeping nicely his family members, but never comes into Krishna consciousness. Now, out of the two cases, who is on a better platform? One who has failed in Krishna consciousness, or one who has done nothing in Krishna consciousness, but has done perfectly his material duties? Give me your answer.
One who is
One
not
who has
doing
failed,
anything,
Prabhu.
Okay.
like one
Who
who is doing.
feels one who has done perfectly his swadharma, that is maintaining his family, etc. He is on a higher state. Please raise your hand. Don't feel scared. You won't be judged. Only one person feels. I hope you all are getting the two cases. Case number one, a person who comes into Krishna consciousness, leaving his swadharma, but here also fails. Case number two, a person who does his material duties perfectly, but does not come into Krishna consciousness. Out of them, who is on a higher plane? That
The
is
first one, Prabhu. First
Option
one is
one.
higher plane.
First,
Option one.
okay. Let me ask in this way: who amongst you all think that the second one is on a higher plane? Please raise your hand. Okay. Why Sadhvita Mataji? Why Ankita Mataji?
Because the progress that that person did in Krishna consciousness will never be lost. But the person who did like the best in Swadharma, so by end of this life it will be lost.
So you
That
feel
is
the
what
first
I
one was on a
understood.
higher plane. So you feel the first one is on a higher plane, correct?
No, I think the second one, because like the second one who did Krishna consciousness but
That was
failed.
first one. That was first one. Ankita Mataji.
Oh, okay.
আমিও তাহলে কোয়েশ্চেনটা ভুল বুঝেছি, আমি ওটাই বলতে চাইছিলাম যে যে এতটুকু ভক্তি করেছে সেই হায়ার প্ল্যানেটে রয়েছে, কারণ ভক্তির অ্যাকাউন্টটা মানে কখনো ডেস্ট্রয় হয় না, ওটা কন্টিনিউ হবে
কিন্তু
নেক্সট
কেউ যদি
লাইফে।
সর্বধর্ম খুব ভালোভাবে পালন করেছে, নিজের ডিউটিস একদম পারফেক্টলি করেছে।
করলেও সেটা তার দেহ বিনাশের সাথে সাথে সেটাও বিনাশপ্রাপ্ত হয়ে যাচ্ছে,
Excellent, very
শুধু
nice.
ভক্তিটা থাকবে।
Good, very
ভক্তি
nice.
শুধু আমাদের সাথে যাবে, আর কোনো কিছুই আমাদের সাথে যাবে না।
Very nice. Very, very nice. So somebody who has done his swadharma perfectly but doesn't come into devotional service, he's a loser only. Irrespective, nobody, Chitragupta is not going to see how much swadharma he has done perfectly. It doesn't matter. Those pages are never seen. Good, good. I'll reread. Please re-understand. If someone gives up his occupational duties and works in Krishna consciousness, and then falls down on account of not completing his work. Falls down why? See the shloka. Bhajan apakvo. He is not a great devotee. He did his best. He gave up his swadharma. He came to Krishna consciousness. But his bhajan was apakvo. Apakvo, samajh mein aa raha hai? Paripakvata nahi hua. And then he fell down. So Bhagavatam is questioning what is the loss on his part. क्या क्षति हुआ? कोई बोल सकता है अरे बेकार हुआ ना तुम्हारा 5 साल तुम ब्रह्मचर्य आश्रम ज्वाइन किया 2 दिन बाद छोड़ भी दिया. अरे लॉस क्या हुआ? Rather than a person who did nothing, never came into Krishna consciousness. What is the loss? क्षति क्या है? जो किया वो भी कैरी फॉरवर्ड होगा, जैसे अंकिता माता जी ने बताया. Nothing loss is there. So Bhagavatam is saying that. What is loss on his part? A very strong shloka. Or as the Krishnan says, what profiteth a man if he gains the whole world yet suffers the loss of his eternal soul? Wow, too good. समझ में आया? Clear? Material activities and the results end with the body, but work in Krishna consciousness carries a person again to Krishna consciousness, even after the loss of the body. At least one is sure to have a chance in the next life of being born again in a human life, either in family of a great cultured Brahmana or in a rich aristocratic family that will give one a further chance for elevation. That is the unique quality of work done in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so these are the benefits. Next life, either in a family of Vaishnava or in a family of Brahmana or rich aristocratic family. Now, my question to you is, Abhishek Prabhu, if he is born in rich aristocratic family, how will it help him?
Pardon for helping in Krishna consciousness.
Yes. Shivani Mataji, what is your opinion?
Krishna Prabhu Sadhana. Prabhuji, if a person is born in an aristocratic family, then he will have more opportunity for spending that money into Krishna consciousness, and because the money is also required, and that soul will be benefited by being born into such family, and naturally he will get all the facilities to worship the Lord.
Okay, very good. Shalini Mataji,
Prabhu, same tha, yahi. He will have taka and he can use in
the
them.
answer is, if a person is born in a rich family, he doesn't have to work for his roti kapra makan. If those basic needs are taken care, he'll have much more time and effort, which he can.
भक्ति करने के लिए और ज्यादा समय मिल जाएगा उनको.
Absolutely, these are the benefits. Uh, Sloka number 41. Very important slok, memory slok, I hope. व्यवसायत्मिका बुद्धि बोलिए
व्यवसायत्मिका बुद्धि
एकः कुरु नन्दन
एकः
बहुशाखा ह्यनन्तश्च बुद्धयो अवव्यवसायिनाम् Very nice shloka. Please mute yourself. Those who are on this path means on devotional path, are resolute in purpose. Resolute, means ekdam determined in purpose. And their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched. First, we'll discuss the first part. Those who are in this path, those who are on this path are resolute in purpose. Their aim is one. Just like a businessman's aim is one. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. Eke hi kuranandana. He only sees profit. Then only he will go ahead with the deal. But on the other hand, opposite, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched. So those who are not focused, they are many branched. Means their faith is on many people, not on one person. They never do Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti means only Krishna. So only determined and only worshipping one irresolutely Supreme Lord Krishna. Understood the difference? Okay, let's read the purport. A strong faith that by Krishna consciousness one will be elevated to the highest perfection of life is called Vyavasayatmika Buddhi intelligence. Ekdam determined, only Krishna consciousness. The Chaitanya Charitamritam states, Shraddha Shabde Vishwasha Kahe Shudriro Nishchoy Krishna Bhakti Koile Sharbo Karmo Krito Hoy. Faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. When one is engaged in the duties of Krishna consciousness, he need not act in relationship to the material world with obligations to the family traditions, humanity or nationality. कोई दरकार नहीं है. These are only when you are in the platform of Varnashram. Otherwise, you can give up all these. Fruitive activities are the engagements of one's reaction from past good or bad deeds. When one is awake in Krishna consciousness, he need no longer endeavor for good results in his activities. When one is situated in Krishna consciousness, all activities are on the absolute plane, for they are no longer subject to dualities like good and bad. The highest perfection of Krishna consciousness is renunciation of the material conception of life. This state is automatically achieved by progressive Krishna consciousness. So this state should come smoothly, Abhishek Prabhu. One should not jump into this state and sacrifice everything, leave behind everything, and go full time in Krishna consciousness. No, that would be not recommended. One should gradually come to that platform where he is in a state to naturally give up everything and just 24-hour work in Krishna consciousness. Sloka number 42, 43. Yamimam pushpitam vacham
Pushpitam vacham
pravardanta vipaschita
pravadantya vipashita
vedavadartha partha
vedavadartha
nanyad astitivadina
nanyad astivadina
kamatmana swarga para
kamana swargapara
karma phala pradam
janma phalapradam
kriya vishesha bahulam
kriya vishesha bahulam
bhogeshwarya gatim prati. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, resultant good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. Please go through the translation again. So the Vedas are full of flowery words because 93% of the Vedas contain karma kanda. ये करोगे तो ये मिलेगा. You do this, पूजा तो ये मिलेगा. You need a putra santan, you do these sacrifices. You need taka, you worship these demigods. 93% of Vedas are full of karma kanda. Only 7% of the Vedas talk about devotional service, pure devotional service. And so you tell me, isn't it natural that a person will get stuck in Vedas? Because 93% of the Vedas talk about Karma Kanda. So they will stuck in Karma Kanda 93%. So that's why we don't read Vedas isolatedly. We read in the association of devotees and under a spiritual guidance. Otherwise, we might also get stuck in those in those 93% Karma Kanda. Purport. People in general are not very intelligent, and due to their ignorance, they are most attached to the fruitive activities recommended in the Karma Kanda portion of the Vedas. They do not want anything more than sense gratificatory proposals for enjoying life in heaven, where wine and women are available and material opulence is very common. In the Vedas, many sacrifices are recommended for elevation to the heavenly planets, especially the Jyotish Toma sacrifice. In fact, it is stated that anyone desiring elevations to the heavenly planets must perform these sacrifices. And men with poor fund of knowledge think that this is the whole purpose of Vedic wisdom. Swarg lok jana, Jannat prapt karna. This is the essence of Vedic wisdom. That's what they feel. It is very difficult for such experienced person to be situated in determined action of Krishna consciousness, as fools are attached to the flowers of poisonous trees, without knowing that the result of such attraction, unenlightened men are similarly attracted to such heavenly opulence and sense enjoyment thereof. Any question?
Prabhuji, Jyotish Toma sacrifices.
कुछ होगा कोई sacrifice. I don't know much about this Jyotish Toma sacrifice.
That's
But
okay.
what is important is that elevation to heavenly planets. By doing this Jyotish Toma sacrifice, one gets heavenly planets. And that's why they are interested in doing, because there will be wine and women there. Jannat milega, that's what they say in other faith. Okay. I'll reread the translation. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to the heavenly planets, resultant good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. यही बेस्ट है, यही अल्टीमेट है। क्लियर? एनी क्वेश्चन? भोगेश्वर्य प्रशक्तानां
भोगेश्वर्य
भोगेश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां
दया परितचेतसाम्
दया
व्यवसायित्मिका बुद्धि
व्यवसायिका बुद्धिः
समाधो न विधीयते।
समाधौ विद्यते।
In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Lord does not take place. So sad. So the resolute determination for Krishna does not take place for these two kinds of people. One who is very attached in sense gratification, बहुत इंद्र तृप्ति जो करता है, and second, material opulence से पूरा भरा हुआ है, इतना ऐश्वर्य है तो भगवान में कभी मन ही नहीं लगेगा. I am not saying that, Krishna is saying that. Please reread the translation, see if there is any problem. So for such people, keeping their mind fixed on Krishna is very difficult. I won't say not possible, because a lot of Aishwarya people are also in Krishna consciousness, but very difficult. Purport. Samadhi means fixed mind. The Vedic dictionary, the Nirupti, says Samyak adhyate asmin atma tattvam yathamyayam. When the mind is fixed for understanding the self, it is said to be in Samadhi. Samadhi is never possible for a person interested in material enjoyment and bewildered by such temporary things. They are more or less condemned by the process of material energy. It's very difficult for a person who is into sense gratification. बहुत भोगी व्यक्ति होता है ना, all the time partying and doing what etc. Very difficult for that person to come into Krishna consciousness. Very difficult. And one who is submerged in wealth, very difficult. Next, Shloka 45, very, very important. Traigunya Vishaya Veda.
Traigunya
Vishaya Veda.
Nistraya Gunyo Bhavarjuna.
Nistraya Bhavarjuna.
Nirvando Nitya Sattvasto.
Nidvando Nitya Sattvasto.
Niryoga Kshema Atmavan.
Niryoga Kshema Atmavan.
Yes, Shivani Mataji.
Deal mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature. O Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. Purport.
No.
All material
Wait.
activities involve.
Wait. Please, everybody, read the translation again. See what you all can comprehend. Clear? Yeah. Bolun, Prabhuji.
प्रभु जी 3 modes वो सात्विक तामसिक राशि उसको ही बोल रहा ना.
Absolutely.
अच्छा.
So we'll get into detail. Yes, Jai Mother Prabhu.
Prabhuji, these three modes actually mainly deal with the subject. What is the mean actually?
So there will be a lot of examples, subdivisions of these three modes: Satogun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. So the Vedas deal mainly with the subjects of the three modes. Like I will tell you, there are total 18 Puranas, correct? Out of those 18 Puranas, Shubhankar Prabhu, 6 Puranas are said to be in mode of goodness, 6 in mode of passion, and 6 in mode of ignorance, Tamogun. Purport. All
material activities involve actions and reactions in the three modes of material nature. They are meant for fruitive results, which cause bondage in the material world. The Vedas deal mostly with fruitive activities to gradually elevate the general public from the field of sense gratification to a position on the transcendental plane. Arjuna, as a student and friend of Lord Krishna, is advised to raise himself to the transcendental position of Vedanta philosophy, where in the beginning there is Brahma Jignasa, or questions on the supreme transcendence.
But
All the living entities.
slowly. Till now, Brahma Jigyasa, routine activities, clear? Sabjita Mataji? Clear till now? Continue Mataji. Slowly.
All the living entities who are in the material world are struggling very hard for existence. For them, the Lord, after creation of the material world, gave the Vedic wisdom advising how to live and get rid of material entanglement. When the activities for sense gratification, namely the Karma Kanda chapter, are finished, then the chance for spiritual realization is offered in the form of Upanishads, which are part of different Vedas, as the Bhagavad Gita is a part of the fifth Veda, namely the Mahabharata. The Upanishads mark the beginning of transcendental life. As long as the material body exists,
Please wait. Clear till now? Yeah. Read slowly, Mataji.
as long as the material body exists, there are actions and reactions in the material mode. One has to learn tolerance in the face of dualities such as happiness and distress, or cold and warmth, and by tolerating such dualities, become free from anxieties regarding gain and loss. This transcendental position is achieved in full Krishna consciousness when one is fully dependent on the goodwill of Krishna.
Please read it the translation. Unmute yourself.
The Vedas deal mainly with the subject of three modes of material nature. O Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes, be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self.
Vishnu Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Any question from translation purport?
Bro, what is the meaning of dualities?
Yeah, very good. Happiness and distress, poor and rich, these are dualities. These are found in the material world. So a person who is a devotee of Lord is free from all these dualities. He's free from happiness and sadness. He's equipoised during these situations. So when something good happens in his life, it's not that he is overwhelmed. Similarly, when something terrible happens in his life, he is unaffected because he knows happiness, sadness, rich, and poverty, whatever. These are dualities of life. They are all related to the body, not to the soul. Soul is Satchitanandmay. Usko koi farak nahi pande. Whatever happens to the body. Happiness and distress, rich, infamy, whatever. Clear? Any other questions for this translation? There are many parts of the translation. Shivani Mataji.
Prabhuji, in the last sentence, it is said when one is fully dependent on the goodwill of Krishna. What is the meaning of goodwill of Krishna?
आपका इच्छा मेरा इच्छा, whatever you do, मारो भी राखो भी तुम्ही जो इच्छा तुआर नित्य दास प्रति तुआ अधिकार. Understood? Whatever you feel like you do,
Yes,
I'm okay with it. One is in this state of a mind. Next, shloka number 46. Yavanartha udapane sarvata samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu ramanasya vijanata. Yes, continue slowly.
All purposes served by small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them.
All the purposes of Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. The purpose for the Vedas. Why do people study Vedas? What is the purpose?
To to ultimately reach to Krishna consciousness and worship Krishna?
Ante Haritoshanam.
Liberation.
Yeah. Liberation. Now, liberation is very vague term. You have to be specific. Liberation for a jnani is merging into the Brahma Jyoti.
Brahmajit.
Liberation for karmis is earning lot of wealth, and enjoying that. Liberation for a yogi is merging into the supreme effulgence again. Liberation for a devotee is getting back his swarupa. Understood? Getting back his swarupa, his eternal spiritual position in the spirit world, supreme world. Okay? Yeah. Purport?
The rituals and sacrifices mentioned in the Karma Kanda division of the Vedic literature are meant to encourage gradual development of self realization. And the purpose of self realization is clearly stated in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 15.15. The
So,
purpose
these
of
karma kandas given in the Vedas, they are meant, Shubhankar Prabhu, for slowly gradual elevation to Krishna consciousness. Gradual elevation. It's like taking the stairs. Floor one, floor two, floor three. So it's like dharma, then artha, then kama, moksha. These are the four purusharth. They are gradual elevation. So the purpose of doing Vedas or going through the Vedas is dharma, is to get some money. So money means here fruitive activities, fruitive results. Money does not mean only money, but some material benefits. So that's why people take shelter of the Vedas. Dharma, artha ho gaya. And with those material benefits, what will happen? Dharma, artha, kama. Kama means fulfilling sense enjoyments. Whatever your self benefits, your desires are there, you're going to fulfill those desires by the artha, the second. So the dharma, artha, with artha you will do sense enjoyment, kama ho jayega. And once when you are tired of, oh, bahut bhog kar liya, abhi to umar ho gaya, and then you will search of moksha. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Is it clear, Abhishek Prabhu? These are gradual steps. But higher than moksha is Krishna Prem. That is Pancham Purusharth. These are four Purusharth given in the Vedas. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Pancham Purusharth is Krishna Prem. Devotees aspire for that. And one can directly, instead of going through all these gradual elevation, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha can directly come from stage 0 to Krishna Prem. Pancham Purusharth. That is by taking the elevator of devotional service. Okay, clear? Sloka number 47. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन
मा फलेषु कदाचन
मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूर्
मा
मा ते संगस्त्वकर्मणि
मा ते
Translation.
you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. But what? There are three considerations here: prescribed duties, capricious work, and inaction. Prescribed duties are activities enjoined in terms of one's acquired modes of material nature. Capricious work means actions without the sanctions of authority, and inaction means not performing one's prescribed duties. The Lord advised that Arjuna not be inactive, but that he perform his prescribed duty without being attached to the result. One who is attached to the result of his work is also the cause of the action. Thus, he is the enjoyer or sufferer of the result of such actions.
Hare Krishna.
As far as
Yeah. Yes, sir, now?
प्रभु जी कैप्रिशियस वॉक ये हिंदी क्या है?
Hindi. Anybody has a Hindi book?
क्या बोलते हैं इसको?
So, Mangara, it came before also today.
Bikarma.
Mangara, on your, means whatever you feel like. Capricious work means action without sanction of authority. It's not prescribed. Whatever you felt like doing. Prabhupada says according to whims and fancies. आपको ये अच्छा हुआ। हाँ, कंटिन्यू।
As far as prescribed duties are concerned, they can be fitted into three subdivisions, namely routine work, emergency work, and desired activities. Routine work performed as an obligation in terms of the spiritual injunctions
scriptural,
without desire, without
scriptural, scriptural injunctions.
scriptural injunctions, without desire for results,
Without
is
desire for
optional
results,
in
it
the
means
mode of goodness.
action in the mode of goodness.
Work, work with
Work
result becomes the cause of bondage. Therefore, such work is not auspicious. Everyone has his proprietary right in regard to prescribed duties, but should act without attachment to the result. Such disinterested obligatory duties doubtlessly lead one to the path of liberation.
Hare Krishna. Any question? Since we are going fast and we are reading line by line, you have to be fully attentive, otherwise you will miss the train.
প্রভুজি
Yeah.
একটা কোয়েশ্চেন ছিল, হ্যাঁ
Yes.
বলছি তাহলে একজন ভক্ত কোনটা মানে কোনটা ফলো করবে, মানে শাস্ত্র নির্ধারিত কর্তব্য কর্ম নাকি নৈষ্কর্ম বিকর্ম? তো নয়, কারণ সেটা তো খেয়াল খুশি মতো
শাস্ত্র নির্ধারিত কর্ম, ভগবান
এক
শাস্ত্র
নম্বর।
থেকে এসেছে। Yes. Yeah. Shloka number 48. Yogastha kuru karmani dhananjaya
Sangam
Sangha
Bhakta
jo samo bhutva
Siddhyasthido
samatvam yoga uchyate.
Samam Yoga Uchyate.
Let me read it. Perform your duties equipoised, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachments to success or failures. Such equanimity is called yoga. Krishna tells Arjuna that he should act in yoga. And what is that yoga? Yoga means to concentrate the mind upon the Supreme by controlling the ever-disturbing senses. And who is the Supreme? The Supreme is the Lord. And because he himself is telling Arjuna to fight, Arjuna has nothing to do with the results of the fight. Gain or victory are Krishna's concern. Arjuna is simply advised to act according to the dictation of Krishna. The following of Krishna's dictation is real yoga. And this is practiced in the in the process of Krishna consciousness. By Krishna consciousness, one can give up the sense of proprietorship. One has to become the servant of Krishna or the servant of Krishna. That is the right way to discharge duty in Krishna consciousness, which alone can help one to act in yoga. Arjuna is a Kshatriya, and as such, he is participating in the Varnashram Dharma institution. It is said in the Vishnu Puran that in the Varnashram Dharma, the whole aim is to satisfy Vishnu. No one should satisfy himself, as is the rule of this material world, but one should satisfy Krishna. Unless one satisfies Krishna, one cannot correctly observe the principles of Varnashram Dharma. Indirectly, Arjuna was advised to act as Krishna told him. Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So today we did till shloka number 48. Today is 16 to 26. We're going to continue from shloka number 49 next day. Anybody has any question? Yes, Ankita Mataji.
ওই আগে দিন যেগুলো পড়া হয়েছিল সেখান থেকে একটা কোয়েশ্চেন ছিল যে আত্মাকে তো বলা হয়েছে নিত্য শাশ্বত পুরাতন, আত্মার কখন কবে উদ্ভব হয়েছিল কেউ জানে না। তাহলে এই যে আত্মাগুলো আছে, আপনি যখন বললেন যে মহত্তত্ব হচ্ছে ব্রহ্মা জির মাধ্যমে সেই আত্মাগুলো ব্রহ্মা ঠিক করছেন যে কে কোন দেহ পাবে, কিন্তু এই জন্মে যখন আমরা কর্ম করার পর আমরা দেহ ত্যাগ করছি, এই যেই লোকে কেউ হয়তো গোলক বৃন্দাবনে যাবে, কেউ বৈকুণ্ঠ ধাম, বা যেই ভগবানের আপনি কেউ নৃসিংহদেবের আরাধনা করলে নৃসিংহদেবের ধামে যাবে, তাহলে সেখানে তো আমরা তো এই জড় শরীরটা তো ছেড়ে যাচ্ছে, আত্মাটা সেখানে যাচ্ছে, তাহলে আত্মাটা সেখানে যাওয়ার পর কি সে আবার কোনো একটা দেহ ধারণ করবে?
Good question. So when the soul leaves the material world, goes to the spiritual world, the soul is in his swarupa. Kon deho dharan korbe? So everybody has a swarupa. First of all, everybody has a Swarupa. Swarupa means his eternal body in the spiritual world. I'll give some examples. I think I gave already. Maybe Vishwarup Prabhu in the spiritual world, he's a cowherd man. He goes with Krishna every day to the forest with cows for grazing.